What? Rolls downstairs, alone or in pairs, and over your neighbour's dog. It's great for a snack. It fits on your back. It's...
Everyone knows it's Slinky.
Enjoy.
Some of the greatest and most enduring toys ever made were made by accident. They were invented or discovered as like, oopsie.
Okay.
So like silly string, or what do we call it in Australia? I can't remember. It was supposed to be an instant spray-on cast for medical purposes.
Wow. And someone said, this is fun to play with though.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, someone accidentally went and emptied the whole container across the room and they said, this is hilarious. And it would be.
Yeah, okay.
Play-Doh was originally created to clean wallpaper.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, to clean wallpaper. I'm rubbing my walls with the Play-Doh.
Silly putty, that magical goo-goo. I can't remember what we used to call it in Australia, but I had it as it's kind of like silly string and silly putty together. Doctors were trying to create synthetic rubber, but instead they just made this fun goo-goo stuff.
Okay. Well, look, it sounds like they were starting in the gooey space, the gooey bouncy space.
Yep.
Came up with a bunch of other things.
Yep. All toys. Okay, that was the accidental one. Some weren't accidental, but they were batshit crazy.
I wanted to see if like the Tonka truck was accidental. You're trying to make
I was trying to make a big truck, but it shrank.
I don't know. Or I just need a truck for moving.
I thought
moving really tiny loads.
I thought the plans were 1-to-1. I didn't realize there was a scale involved. I still got 2 old metal Tonka trucks from the 70s when I was a kid, and that shit you cannot buy anymore because they make them out of plastic.
Oh, and it's all the ones from the 70s are metal and asbestos.
Yeah,
so, to make them authentic building site Tonka trucks, they were, and probably a bit of DDT in as well. It was.
Yeah, and I've never gotten malaria from it, and it's never burnt down. Okay, the batshit crazy ones. For example, the Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab, which included uranium ore, 3 kinds.
A toy?
Yep, toy. Like it's my little uranium lab. Atomic Energy Lab. But it also had a Geiger counter, so don't worry. You could tell how bad it was.
So you knew where the uranium was.
Yeah, this is how shit it is.
No, but I get. You give a kid a Geiger counter. They need to see something that's going to make it go tick.
They need the clicks.
Oh. 3 types of uranium?
Yeah, 3 different kinds. Gilbert, again, had a glass blowing set.
Oh, that's okay.
Glass ain't exactly safe around children anyway. Now melt it.
Still?
500 degrees Celsius plus in order to make it malleable.
Does it say get your mother or father to do this bit?
Not here.
I would have been all over that as a kid. The idea of having your own glass blowing kit as a kid.
Oh, those are some batshit crazy ones. The other one that I really liked, remember those? We never had them when I was alive, but shoes that basically just had springs on the bottom, and they called them like moon shoes. And the springs were shit. You couldn't really jump, but they could make you fall over or break your ankle. So you'd strap basically these 2 bits of wood to your feet, and they had springs, so in theory you could bounce around like you're on the moon.
It smells like an idea. I get that someone in the toy lab or the shoe lab is like, okay, well, let's try springs, see what happens.
Yeah.
Smells to me something that shouldn't have actually been released as a product.
Not ever. Not ever.
No, we didn't have them.
No, I never had them either. I think they were even before me. But some of the biggest also, so we've had accidental, we've had batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Also some come from extremely bland roots, like the Frisbee and the hula hoop. Frisbee was a pie dish. The Frisbee pie company. That makes sense.
I get it. You see that and you go, I'm just going to chuck that. And you go, wow, that worked.
That shit flew. And hula hoops, I can't remember, but it was
They were also
bland.
pie dish.
They were
like
also
a big pie dish where you're making a sort of round pie with no bottom or top. Or like eggs. You know, you have like a...
For your poacher.
Yeah, like you're frying some eggs, those egg rings. If you're doing 100 eggs all at once, then you need a giant egg ring.
And there's rarely a weekend that goes by where I'm not doing 100 eggs all at once.
It'd be delicious.
Today, anyway, I'm going to dive into a toy that was accidental and superficially bland and maybe a little bit dangerous too.
Welcome to The Wholesome Show, the podcast that spends hours playing with the whole of science.
Yes, we do.
I'm Will Grant.
I'm Rod Lambert. And you look very attractive.
I love to play. I love toys. Toys are awesome.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I'm a huge toy fan. I don't have enough time anymore. I have a larger.
I don't have enough time.
No, because to build something proper out of Lego takes days. I don't do instructions. I have all the Lego and I just make shit up. I like to build houses. I like to architecture.
Okay.
I love to architecture. Anyway, you don't understand that because you never had a childhood. He was trying to make today, this is important.
What?
Tonic water spiders.
It was a thought that it might be fun.
to a child. Tonic water spiders. You're a monster.
Has anyone tried it before?
Child Protective Services are going to take you away.
My family has a little bit of claim to food invention.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandfather, as I think I've talked to before, he was the first one to heat up a meat pie in a microwave.
Yes.
He also claims, I don't believe this one, but he claims he invented hedgehogging your mango.
Fuck if he did.
Yeah, I know. It's worth nothing.
I owe him a lot.
It's worth nothing. It's delicious. But also I invented the bacon cronut.
You didn't know I was there.
Exactly.
I was there for
that.
that.
So, the cronut being the croissant donut.
Yeah.
And then you chop it in the middle and you put some bacon in.
Because bacon's so good with French toast.
It's shockingly healthy.
So we're in 1943. We're starting back there. So there was a marine engineer called Richard James, and I'm going to call him Dick. No one else did, but why wouldn't you?
No, use his name.
Dick.
You can't just invent someone's name.
I'm not inventing it. Anyway, so Dick was working at his desk at the William Cramp & Sons shipyards in Philadelphia.
Cool.
He was trying to develop a special meter to monitor the horsepower output on naval battleships.
How many horsepower do we have? Yeah.
Yep.
I imagine they're pretty large, a naval battleship.
Yeah, it's like eight or 10 easy.
Like if you're dragging them with horses, you're going to need a lot of horses to drag them naval battleship through the water.
And very long rope.
Seahorses, I guess.
But the meter wasn't the challenge. The meter itself, not the challenge. The challenge was the seas go bouncy, 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 bounce. And that throws it off.
Oh, so you're not getting 100% accuracy.
You can't tell. Yeah, you don't know how many horses. Some of the horses get left out and they don't like that.
Sure. Okay. Doesn't sound like a huge problem. Doesn't sound like it's going to lead to a toy either.
Oh, very quickly you're going to realize what it is. So he thought, how do I make it more stable? I've got to make it more stable. That's my job. That's my Dick job because his name's Dick. You're welcome. So he was tinkering with all kinds of springs to find the right gauge of metal to stop it from bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. If it was too stiff, it would bounce too much because not enough absorption of the boons.
Mm-hmm.
Too sloppy, too floppy. So he's sitting there at his desk and he turns away from all the things he's checking out, check his email or whatever they did in 1943. Probably email.
Email equivalent.
Probably email. Yeah.
Nemos.
And he bumps a spring on his desk. It falls off his desk. He was flabbergasted. It fell off his desk and it walked down a stack of books. And it got to the bottom and went whoop, and just ended up in a nice, clean pile.
Oh, you have to be so happy with that moment. So happy. You're like, the universe just revealed itself to me.
So he went, wow, this is awesome. And his first reaction, of course, was this would be a fully sick toy.
Of course it would.
So he rushed home to tell Mrs. Dick, a.k.a. his wife, Betty. She's excited too, so it's time to prototype. So for 2 years, he experimented with different lengths and metallurgical formulae.
Is he still doing any work, or is he tapped out completely on work to go, no, I'm in Springs now?
It's Springs.
This is it.
Springtime.
Sorry, love. I've quit work. I'm just doing Springs.
This is going to make us fucking rich. Sweetheart, get on board. So the problem with the original spring was a bit too thick and heavy. Like it wasn't convenient. And so he knocked out a few prototypes, I assume, in his shed. And so he'd done a few prototypes and he went around to the neighborhood kids, not in a creepy way, and said, do you want to try it? What do you reckon? And after a while,
still in a creepy way.
Still creepy. You want to try my spring?
I know that it seems okay.
Because the 40s, innocent times, except for Hitler.
Want to try my spring. No,
and they loved it. They loved it.
That seems creepy.
But they loved his spring. They were really excited. So he came up with the perfect formula finally. 80 feet of wire, 600 meters.
What?
Give or take.
80 feet is not 600 meters.
Give or take.
Give the listener a real conversion.
28.
Yeah, good.
What do you reckon, 28?
Yeah, it's about that.
Now, the wire then got wound around 98 times, which is 500 times in metric.
No.
98 times in imperial.
Times is the same. Even Americans couldn't come up with an idea that
yet
one time was 1.5 times in metric. That's redundant.
This is metric times. And it was stacked into a coil 2.5 inches high, which is about 5 centimeters, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm used to converting inches to centimeters. That's just important to me. So the magic specs meant that the energy from the first push along the length of the coil in what is known as a longitudinal wave, science time, that made it do what it did because there's no compression or some such shit. But what he said was it's the closest, or someone else said, it's the closest a toy can come to perpetual motion. Hypothetically, once you kick it off, it will go forever.
The closest a toy can come to perpetual motion. Is he leaving the door open? Like I get adult inventors might have it, but if you're inventing a toy perpetual motion machine, this is the one for you. Like, can't do the real one, but I got
a tiny one. It's like the Tonka.
I feel like if you invent a toy that is a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah. You've invented a perpetual motion machine.
You have.
Yeah.
You have. And you could probably go, hey, I could sell this idea to adults as well.
Everyone in the universe.
No, just toys.
So anyway, it worked really well. He was happy with that. But it needed a name. And this is where Betty, Mrs. Dick, came on. So she searched through the dictionary for hours and she finally settled on Slinky.
Through the dictionary?
Apparently. Even then, because it meant either, depending on the source, sinuous and slender.
Yes.
Or when referring particularly to ladies' clothing, sleek and graceful.
Like a slinky dress. I get that's the arc of it curving over. It has some sort of definitely slinky type.
Keep talking.
It's a spring.
Oh, I'm hearing the arc bit. Oh, you were talking about the spring, not the ladies' dresses.
No, not the ladies' dresses.
We're brought to you by ladies' dresses.
Just generally?
All of them.
I always love when generic things advertise, like bananas. And I get, like
brought to you by food. This product or service brought to you by eating. So anyway, that's what Betty came up with. So boom, we have a product name. Time to go into production and market these bad boys. So Dick, Richard, James, got a loan for $500, which is probably about $10K today-ish. So it's not huge, but it's,
it's
some money.
Start,
You've got to pay it back. And he founded James Industries in Philadelphia. I would have gone with Dick Industries, but, that's just me.
Seriously, what I got to work with?
I really don't think your life is easy. And I don't think it's fair either. So he designed and engineered all the equipment they used to create the spring, the Slinky. And the first run was 400. And he got them made at a local machine shop after.
I hope there are some first-run Slinkies still out there.
Spalinkies?
I hope there are some first-run Slinkies.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's cool.
They were hand-wrapped in yellow paper and they were made of high-grade blue-black Swedish steel.
Damn.
You know the one?
Damn. No. But it sounds very good steel.
Yeah, it's Swedish. Everything in Sweden is better, except for the racism and the alcohol laws. Very, very strict and weird. So it's time to get them in front of the masses. We've done the marketing or the creation, the production. Let's get them in front of people. So toy stores, talks to toy stores and they go,
What?
Like,
It's just a spring.
Yeah, it's a spring, dude.
But it's a great spring.
Look at this spring. Where do I wind it up? Why isn't it made of wood?
I can understand that. I can understand. It doesn't look like any other toy that is there at the moment. It's not a board game. It's not a car. It's not.
What does it do? Look. So finally, though, he finagles and convinces apparently this famous department store in Philadelphia, Gimbals. So he goes into Gimbals and he sets up an inclined plane, a ramp, bit of timber that's higher at one end than the other for those listening at home who don't understand the technical jargon.
I hope he dragged this out over a long time. Like he did like a really elaborate stage show, told some jokes, and he's like, you wait. This thing is going to be this, drag it over. What is it, 9 hours?
9 hours.
Everything happens in the last 4 seconds.
Like this episode, 9-hour episode, our first. So he's got the ramp set up in the toy section and it goes,
That's cool.
People went fucking apeshit.
Bananas.
Like apeshit.
It's
generic bananas.
It's Elvis and the Beatles
all
at once.
All wrapped into a spring.
What?
Yeah. So all 400 sold in less than an hour and a half. Gone. Out the door.
That's so
Boom.
cool. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, they went nuts. So what do they cost? This is where Betty came in and she started to exert her influence. So she said in an interview later in the New York Times, so many children can't afford expensive toys. And she felt a real obligation to them. And she was appalled when she'd go shopping at Christmas and a toy would be $60 or $80. Back then, that was a butt ton of money.
Yeah. Okay. So, in the hundreds.
Yeah, heaps of money. So she said, we've got to keep this thing affordable. So that was good for her.
I would be surprised if a Slinky was going to be in the $100.
Yeah, I would too.
Like, no matter what steel it's made out of, you made it out of samurai steel. I don't
folded 400 times.
I don't want a Slinky that's in the multi-hundreds, but
so they sold them for $1. So it's probably about $15 today, give or take, US.
Okay.
So Dick's machines, or the Dick machines, I should say, could churn out Slinkies, like a single Slinky in a few seconds. Done. Which was good because they went on to sell 20,000 before Christmas that year. This was November they first put them out there.
Good on them.
They now put them in a black lettered box, so it's a proper little boxy poo. The following year, more than 250,000. In the following 2 to 10 years, depending on the source, doesn't really matter because they sold 100 million.
Wow.
100 fucking million Slinkies.
Wow. Times $1.
Yeah.
Who could work out how much money
That's like $40 billion.
It's something like
give
that.
or take.
It's wow. That is a lot of
It's
Slinkies.
insane, right? But in today's money, that was the 100 million was billions and probably still is.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. And so Dick would go on television shows promoting the Slinky. They saturated America with advertising, like going off, off. So it's all beer and Skittles, rainbows, moonbeams, everything fabulous.
And we're done.
Hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next week for other stories. So this is the late 1940s. By the 1950s, they were freaking killing it. The Jameses were going off making money. They had a family home on 12 acres in Bryn Mawr, which is apparently a fancy place in Philadelphia.
Okay. Please tell me their mansion is all decorated with Slinky.
Just spring. It's made out of twisted wire.
You got to celebrate the stuff that made you made your billions.
And they wore those shoes around.
I feel like it should be a celebration, a triumph of Slinky. Slinky
it
Manor.
should be. I don't think it was.
Oh.
So by the mid-50s, sales were slumping. However, it's a bummer. And Dick became deeply involved with a Christian group full of people Betty considered to be dubious characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dubious Christians.
I know. Betty said she didn't know a lot about them, only that it was an evangelical Christian sect, and she thought it was probably a cult.
Okay.
And a few sources, there's a number of sources on this. A few sources said it might have been the Wycliffe Bible Translators of America.
Okay.
Which sounds like a very strange social club. And their job, they're an alliance of organizations, and their objective was to translate the Bible into every language.
Dothraki?
And Klingon, of course.
God, what a way to spend your time.
Because they're the fucking nerds.
What a way to spend
the
your time.
Dothraki people, cool as hell.
No, that's fine.
They're Klingons.
No, but they have sex in public. They have a wedding and everyone's rooting on the ground.
Klingons don't.
No, they don't. Klingons do not. No, they are behind closed doors people.
Other people just said this group of Christians were just exceptionally enthusiastic bunches of Episcopalians. A group.
Not all Christians are exceptionally enthusiastic, but I think many
this
might
group
be.
apparently are.
Okay, all right.
It's not clear what they're enthusiastic about. So whatever they were, disregardless, Dick starts testifying at revival meetings and making substantial financial contributions to them.
Cool.
And in an interview that I was reading about in a 2001 article from The Straight Dope, Betty said, she was asked, why did he get into this shit? And she said, look, he was a charismatic man. He'd gotten used to being a big shot. He liked the attention, particularly when he was confessing his sins.
He liked the attention when he's confessing his sins?
Mm.
But is he confessing publicly? Or is he doing
whatever they are,
to
the
priest,
Wycliffe Bible translators or whatever they were. So the interview goes on, says, did he have personal issues that might have led to his conversion? She said, look, he was a philanderer.
Oh, okay.
He was doing the external to marriage boning business.
Right.
And she found out they had a chat, but he'd stayed with them for the sake of their 6 children.
So he's definitely philandering in the marriage as well.
Yeah, 6 times anyway. So she went along to one of their meetings just to see what it was like, and the only quote I found on that was she was mortified. So she wasn't into it. But whatever they were into, this group, in early 1960, Dick left the company. So he left the James Industries spring.
He's not in Slinkies anymore.
No, walked out.
Jesus.
That was in early 1960, I think February. By July, he abandoned his wife, he abandoned the 6 kids, and he moved to Bolivia.
Oh, damn.
with the group. So apparently he left the company and his family in financial turmoil.
Oh.
But he did say, look, you guys can sell the business, you can run it yourself.
Do what you like.
Up to you, I'm out of here. What did Betty do? Betty decided to keep the Slinky business going.
Of course she did.
But it was on the verge of bankruptcy. Dick had put heaps of the money into the religious interest, as it was put, millions of dollars in unpaid bills.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, champ.
Yeah, right.
So Betty apparently begged the creditors to be patient, and they agreed.
Sure.
It's unusual.
Well, no, it's not, because they know if the money's not there, then they kind of all they have is patience. They got breaking legs and patience. And
breaking legs doesn't help you get money.
It doesn't. And you don't want to go straight to breaking legs.
No.
I think you say, all right, she said, can you be patient? You accept the offer.
I won't break your leg straight away. So in 1963, she brought the Slinky to the New York Toy Show with a new catchy jingle, which was playing on TV.
Finally, that's what I was going to say. They need to up the marketing, get a catchy jingle.
You probably have heard it, or rip-offs of it. Ren and Stimpy did a great one when they were always selling.
Sing it, please sing it, please sing it.
What walks downstairs?
No, it's not singing. Give it more.
I actually don't know the tune.
What rolls downstairs, a loner in pairs, and over your neighbor's dog.
That's Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, no, that's the same one, isn't
That's
it?
log, log, log. It's log, log.
It's great for a snack. It fits on your back.
It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's better than bad, it's good. Yes, that's what they were ripping off.
I didn't know that was based on something
Slinky.
real. That's so cool.
That's the Slinky ad. Yeah, they fucked on the Slinky ad.
I was so happy with log, log, log.
Christ, it was funny. With new visible log and invisible log. And it comes as pants in petite and portly
So the
sizes.
original was Slinky. You know, at this point, you could use technology and play it for me, and I would be excited.
Well, Alex can use technology and play it for you. He's very good at
Fuck
this.
it, I'm going to dial this up.
But then you won't be listening because you can't multitask.
I can multitask. Watch.
No, you can't.
Here we go.
Who walks the stair without a care and shoots so high in the sky? Bounce up and down just like a clown. Everyone knows it's Slinky, the best present yet to give or get, but costs a little to buy. The hit of the day when you're ready to play. Everyone knows it's Slinky, it's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun, it's the best of the toys. It's Slinky, the favorite of girls and boys. It's Slinky, for fun it's the best of the toys. It's Slinky, the favorite of girls and boys. Everyone wants a Slinky, you ought to get a Slinky.
So Betty had been instrumental also in coming up with spin-off Slinky products like Slinky Train, called Loco, the Slinky Worm Susie,
Sure.
and the Slinky Crazy Eyes. You know, the glasses that they go blah, 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 and bobble out.
That
off
was
the
genius, though. That's good. That's
I know,
good. That's
I know.
good.
Not perpetual motion though. But the one that really seemed to have boosted their standing and actually made them survive was the Slinky Dog. And that became famous in the 1990s because of Toy Story.
Yeah, yeah.
1995. So
It's got a
before-
butt and it's got a front,
and
and
then
in
it's
between is a Slinky.
Slinky, yeah. So really nail something to one end of each of us Slinky, and you've got a Slinky something.
Oh, my mind has gone straight to all of the things
Cabbage,
you could put front
Slinky
and back.
cabbage.
Yeah, of course.
Roots at the bottom, leaves at the top.
No, it was
spring in the
half a
middle.
cabbage on each side.
So the Slinky Dog, before the movie, the annual sales of the Slinky Dog were in the hundreds. After the movie, 12,000 a year the following year. The year after that, 33,000 up to 40,000. Oh no, all in the same year, sorry, the year after the movie. February, 12,000. April, 33,000. July, 40,000.
Oh, wow.
So it went the fuck off.
No, it's good. It's going well. That's good.
And the Slinky company still
Free
exists.
advertising. Did they pay to? Were there toy companies that did like product placement in Toy Story? They said like
Surely.
like Pixar went around and
Surely.
said, "Hey, this is going to be cool. It's going to be pretty good. Your mind's going to be blown. There's talking toys.
Yep.
There's no humans, but they all look cool. So the main characters are set. We own them. That's Disney. But if you want to get your character in here,
Do you want to
as a
sneak the
big tier,
uranium kit in there?
Fuck yeah!
So it ended up, Slinky got back in business and obviously they still exist. What happened to Dick though?
He went to Bolivia.
He
Didn't
went to Bolivia and Betty wasn't sure. She didn't think it was a really sort of crazy suicide sex cult. It was more just like a mission.
Okay.
She said at one point she heard he was printing religious tracts
All right.
for Bolivians. And every now and then she'd get accusatory letters from him urging her to repent and
Oh.
asking her to leave the children and join him in Bolivia.
Why not bring the children and
Leave
they
them.
can repent as well?
Leave them.
Like I get the whole repent. You
Yeah.
know, it's still telling people a little bit much.
Yeah.
But bring the kids
Leave
with
the kids.
you.
Do you know what's better? When he was saying this, the kids were aged 2,
Oh, for
4, 6, 8, 16, and 18.
well, the 18-year-old can.
Yeah,
look
so
after.
one of them.
I just come on, man.
Leave the kids for Jesus. Repent
I don't
for
think Jesus ever said
Leave your children.
abandon your children.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty confident he didn't.
also, children are moderately portable. It's like they're set in cement.
They do move around, and some of them are quite light.
Yeah, ex-
Anyway, he died of a heart attack in Bolivia in 1974. That was it for him. He got
Did he ever
Bolivia.
get back into Slinkies?
No.
Like there wasn't a final
Stayed there. No,
deathbed.
that was it.
I love you, Slinky.
No.
No. All right.
Religious, Bolivia. Betty, however, ran the company for nearly 40 years until she sold the company to Poof Products. Poof, I assume, because it's American.
POOF.
I told you it would come back.
Oh, Jesus.
Poof Products in 1998. By the end of the 90s, the History and Discovery channels named Slinky one of the 20th century's top 10 toys.
It's definitely.
It's up there. 1999, it got its own stamp.
Stamp.
The American
If you're
Postal
sending
Service
mail
said,
to Slinky.
no, yeah, that's it. These only go to Slinkies. No, it's like, here's a picture of a Slinky, send a stamp. It was 2000. It went to she was a inductee into the Toy Hall of Fame. Then she was in 2001 a Toy Industry Association Hall of Fame inductee. Died in 2008, age 90. So she did well.
Okay.
But before we close.
What?
At the beginning, I said, I put Slinky in the company of toys that were accidental, superficially bland, and maybe just a little dangerous.
What do you mean dangerous? No one died of a Slinky.
What do you know?
What?
What do you know?
What?
The face he's giving me right now, people who are only listening, is like I murdered his childhood in front of him.
Well, obviously, straight away, I'm thinking of the ways that you could die of Slinky. And
I'm going to help you.
They are not...
They're not slinky. They don't seem like lithe ladies' gossamer like clothing.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah,
your God can't help.
Yeah, it just brings to mind. A long time ago, I was doing a little bit of work. We were editing journal articles, helping to proofread the English and stuff like that. So this was
so good.
I know. But anyway, it was so we got random, like totally random. It'd be on any topic. It was helping to, but I distinctly remember a long stream of quite a few in a row that were all insertions.
Oh, things you can put in places you shouldn't.
And it was really, do we really need to be documenting this in your journal? And it's like, I got a photo of this. This one got all the way to there. Jesus Christ.
So was the Slinky accidental? Yes. Superficially bland? Fuck yes. It's a spring. What about a little bit dangerous? Like, could it actually compete with 8-year-olds playing with uranium or putting molten glass near their mouths? I really wanted to know.
Did you really?
Oh, God, yeah. You know.
How did you get to this place in your mind where you thought, you know what, I am desperate to know? What was the search string that took you here?
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
In the end, I went very modern, but we'll get to that. So I did a quick search and I waited. I'm like, here it comes. Come on, fucking cover me in awful. So there was a time when a mini Slinky was made, tiny Slinky.
Uh-huh.
It had a bit too much chromium.
Oh, whoa.
And that could be a bit icky.
I didn't know.
No, and apparently kids could choke on it. And I'm like,
because of the chromium or because it was small?
It's because it was small. I'm like, oh, that's not very interesting because there's no specific cases. It's like a possibility. And I thought, lame.
Possibility.
Lame.
Possibility ain't no story.
No, I know. I was disappointed. Like my little face fell. So did my big face. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to keep hunting. I'm going to find worse things. So I really started searching. So this turned up a US Consumer Product Safety Commission, quote, toy-related deaths and injuries, calendar year 2005, for children under 15. And I thought, goldmine. Slinky, fucking murderous.
You didn't think goldmine. You thought
murderous
tragedy
Slinky.
city.
Yes, of gold.
All of my tears are erupting out of my body right now.
Yep, every hole, tragedy city of gold. So there were a total of 20 deaths, children under 15, toy-related, in that recorded that year. Number 1, balls. Choking. 6 out of 20.
Yeah, I get that. That's, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and balls come in literally every size.
They do.
And so there is a size to fit every child's gullet. Like it's
every trachea can be blocked by a ball.
Oh God.
Number 2, tricycles.
Jesus. It's like farmers. It's farmers on quad bikes and
it is.
The kid version, kid equivalent.
Here's my favorite though with the tricycles. 2 of the 3 out of 20 who died, motor vehicle involvement. One of them, drowning. The obvious risk with a tricycle.
I was going to say, it's probably not the tricycle.
No.
It's the pool.
No. Yeah, it'd be the water.
I think we're...
It's like, then you kind of say they're wearing pants. The pants drowned them.
I'm drowning in tricycles.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's not right. It's bullshit. Number 3, third place with 10 others. 1 out of 20 deaths, Slinky and or ribbon strangulation. 1 in 2005 in the US. So I thought, nope, not good enough. I want more. So then I found something.
You don't want more.
I want more.
No, you don't want more.
More stories, not tragedy. I don't like tragedy. I kept trying. I looked at Slinky weird, Slinky crime, Slinky bad, Slinky evil, Slinky tragedy, Slinky freak.
Slinky evil?
Slinky evil.
What the hell is Slinky evil? Like it's not coming to life.
Are you a metallurgist and or engineer? Slinky freak, Slinky weird, Slinky pervert.
What the hell?
Nothing. And there was a piece in the Atlantic. Nothing. I found nothing. Even a piece in the Atlantic let me down, and they've never let me down. They're writing about the Slinky, and I'm like, come on, guys. So finally I went, okay, this is how I ended. I went modern. I turned to Chat GPT.
Oh, okay, so it's fake.
No. I said, first up, tell me 5 scary things about the Slinky.
So it's fake.
No, it's all true, as you will see. It said, of course, I'm an AI model. I can't really tell you. I don't perceive scary means. However, here are some unsettling and or uncomfortable facts about the Slinky. Entanglement. They can become tangled and that's annoying.
Yeah, sure.
So that's a danger. You'll get the shits.
Annoying doesn't mean scary.
Strangulation.
Yeah.
We've gone through that. Choking hazard. We've mentioned that. Number 4, damages to surfaces.
ChatGPT likes things to be pristine.
What a nightmare. My bench top has a scratch from the Slinky. And then, of course, material hazards like if you eat it and stuff. And vintage ones apparently contain lead-based paint. And I thought, not good enough. What are the worst ways, I said to it, to play with a Slinky?
What is in your brain?
Slinky. It said, look, I don't have personal preferences. I'm a language model, blah, blah, but I can provide you with some potential safety concerns when playing with a Slinky. 1, putting the Slinky around your neck. Shock horror.
Sure.
2, throwing the Slinky at someone. Talk about clutching at straws. By number 2, don't throw shit at people.
Yeah, exactly. But I kind of imagine it just goes whoosh in the air, and it's long and annoying, but it's not going to hit you in the head. Bro.
If I threw a Slinky at you, you wouldn't be.
I don't want to get it in my
happy.
eye.
No, you don't, because it could lead to conjunctivitis. 3, using the Slinky near fragile objects. If it gets out of control, it could break a vase or glasses. It's not really terrifying. Stretching it too far, you'll break it and shit. Number 5, swallowing it. This is an obvious danger according to the
See, this is why ChatGPT remains an idiot.
Yes, doesn't it though? And it says at the end, remember, always use caution when playing with a Slinky and be mindful of those around you. So thank you. So I was desperate. This is all I had left. I was desperate. Give me something. So I said to ChatGPT, write me a heavy metal song about the Slinky, because I thought this has got to at least get satanic. And the best lines, I won't read the whole thing or sing it because it didn't give me a tune. Verse 1 ends with a metal snake it's never found. The chorus, however, Slinky, Slinky, a metal delight, a toy that's always ready to fight. Now I like that. Makes no sense. It's a symbol of fun, a symbol of play, a toy that'll never fade away. Fine. The bridge. It's a metal coil that never dies, a toy that never tells lies. I'm like, what toy tells lies? Like
some do.
Does it? Do they? It's not doing well. So that's the best ChatGPT could give me, which is fucking lame. So my takeaway from the Slinky story is it's even too wholesome for us. There's nothing dirty about it. There's nothing wrong about it. There's a bit of a cult.
It did murder some kids.
Not on its own. And many other things have murdered more. Shoelaces have killed more people or been used to kill more people. It's too wholesome for us. But I got to the end and I thought, I've got no choice. I have to go through with this. What a letdown.
I have to go through with this.
There are many sources. They're listed. I don't think one was more important than the other. I mean, the Straight Dope, that had some good interview bits with Betty. So how do you like the Slinky? No more or less than you did before?
Well, how do I like you more or less than before? I'll frickin' answer that.